I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, May the 14th, brought to you in part by Performance Livestock Analytics. Performance Beef is a software designed by cattle producers for cattle producers to simplify feeding and performance and health data recording, also make you look more professional as you're growing or finishing cattle for your customers. For more information, go to performancelivestockanalytics.com. Holding highs. Now, we realize that we've been at all-time highs here for quite a while and continuing to gain ground and getting higher up into the stratosphere of the cattle market. And we realize that we're getting closer to Memorial Day and the runs are starting to tail off a little bit. We're getting closer to summer, which is kind of a more dead time. But we're still holding those record highs and advancing. Tuesday's sales in your feeder cattle auctions, the advances were just as much as they were on Monday, if not more, and continuing to grow there. And your packers are trying to convince cattle feeders that the highs are in on the fat cattle market and that they can't pay any more for fed cattle because of the red ink that's been flowing, and supposedly your packers have been losing money here for quite a while. But there's been no takers so far in your negotiated fed cattle trade, so we haven't set any type of a market yet, and your cattle feeders are thinking that they're going to gain a little bit more this week, even though we're at these big time highs. But you know, we're sitting here holding these highs and there's no reason to come off of them. Now on Tuesday I spent the day at Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, and had an impressive run, over 5,000 head. It was fun for me anyway, because I got to auctioneer alongside my old friend and mentor Kenny Wilcox, world champion livestock auctioneer from 1990, and it was just fun there. The buyers were engaging. They come right down on the cattle. We sold some of these big cattle weighing over 1,000 pounds and even over 1,100 pounds for big money, and just sitting there taking that in and talking about other people there, or talking about the market with other people there. And you know, people are turning cattle out heavier. They're turning cattle on grass heavier, they're turning cattle out on wheat heavier, and these cattle are gaining really well. Now, in my experience back in the days whenever I was grazing wheat with my father, probably 30-40 years ago, we turned 3- and 4-weight cattle out on wheat, and their stomachs really weren't ready for that wheat, which is pretty rank for lightweight cattle. Now, people now are turning cattle out on wheat weighing 600 and 700 pounds, and they're more adapt to it. They gain better on it, and they're gaining bigger weight ranges there. And these cattle are gaining 400, 500, 600 pounds on wheat, and then they're coming in at these big record highs as far as weight. And it hasn't been that many years ago that you know, your steers would start to take discounts weighing much over 9 and especially over 1,000 pounds, but not anymore. They just keep bringing the money, and sure, heifers weighing over 8, or sure, we're used to seeing big discounts weighing over 8. We don't see that anymore either. People want bigger cattle. They're going to put cattle on feed weighing heavier, and they're going to take cattle to market weighing 15, 16, 17, 1,800 pounds, and there's no discounts for the packers. So the industry has just changed in that way. But with these bigger cattle, people are still buying them, and we're holding the highs that we've seen here over the last several months. You look at your board on Tuesday, and after the big gains on Monday, it was off a little bit. Your stock market was down a little bit from all the activity with politics and then the trade and the tariffs and the border and everything that happened over the weekend. Monday was a big day, and a lot of times we'd see Tuesday come down big, but we didn't see it come down big. It come down some, but not completely down. And June live cattle were down 50 cents is all at 216.32. August was up 2 cents at 211.62. And your back months on live cattle were unchanged to up 117. May feeder cattle were down 27 cents at 302.82. August was down just 37 cents at 306 smooth. But your back months on feeder cattle down 5 cents to up as much as 67 cents. Of course, we saw that far out contract for 2026 way out there at down 150. But your grains, look at July corn, down 5.5 cents a bushel at 442.5. And we haven't seen the dry conditions up in the northern plains and the Midwest affect your corn markets yet. But it's going to if these warm and hot, dry, windy conditions continue. But July beans were up 1.25 cents at 10.72.5. Hard red winter wheat for July was up 3.75 cents at 5.11 3/4. Fat cattle trade, and I told you that the packers are trying to tell everybody that the highs are in. We can't go any higher. This is the most we're going to pay for fat cattle. Did not see any takers at all. No trade negotiated in your 5-area feeding region. Cash. We did see our market maker, Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. Brick and mortar sale barn selling fat cattle. They had 1,100 in overnight, 1,700 in for the fed cattle market there at Stockman's Livestock Market. Conventional fed cattle selling from $225 to $230.50. That was $3 higher to as much as $10 higher. Program cattle selling from $225 to $232.50. Box beef cutout values gained ground on the choice. $350.10 for choice cuts. That was up $196, and that is an all-time high for this year. Selects were down 76 cents at $334.47. Your slaughter through the first 2 days of the week, and Monday was a disappointing 99,000, but Tuesday come back at 121,000, so we gained a little bit of ground on the week. 220,000 head through the first 2 days of the week. Estimated cattle slaughter, that's 10,000 less than a week ago at this point, 19,000 less than a year ago, same week at this point. But talk about what else is going on. Your Punchy Pick of the Month contest is coming up, and we're having fun with that every month. Of course, we've got great sponsors to help us with that. Great Plains Consulting is helping out with the Kids Corral. And then we have Beaver County Stockyards and Fairpiece helping us with the Punchy Pick of the Month contest. I'm going to attach a new video from Fairpiece at the end of this Feeder Flash episode, and check that out, guys. Talk about your feeder cattle markets brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. Your real-time index on DVAuction sitting at 302.66. That was up 54 cents compared to the end of trading on Monday, and that was after your Tuesday sales had all closed. Pretty good gains there, guys. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 302.40. Some sales coming up later this week. You want to check out Clarinda Livestock Auction in Clarinda, Iowa is going to have a good run on Thursday. 2,400 head, mostly weaned fall calves. They've got a couple loads of 8-weight feeders there, but a lot of really fancy, locally grown, home-raised weaned fall calves on Thursday at Clarinda, Iowa. If you can't make it to Clarinda, get on DVAuction.com. Check in with the sale barn, make sure you're approved so you can bid on those cattle. They've got a big sale coming up at Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson, North Dakota. It's the 3rd annual all-breed bull sale. This is for local producers there that are seed stock guys, and they've got bulls in there. Almost every breed that you would want to have is represented there. If you guys, it's late in the season, if you guys want to get you some bulls and you haven't already done that, check them out at Dickinson. They've also got a nice supply of bred cows and pairs coming up on Thursday in Dickinson, North Dakota, guys. Talk about some big feeder cattle auctions on Tuesday. How about Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri? 2,200 head through the ring, another 573 through their in-house video auction they do with help from DVAuction. But through the ring in West Plains on Tuesday, they sold feeders steady to $5 higher and calves steady to $8 higher. The market reporter there, Dan Hill, a good friend of mine that I helped train there, he said that the offering was included more plainer type cattle than what they normally have, and we start to see that as we get more towards your typical summer season here, guys. Big sale at Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma that I already mentioned there. That 5,400 head on offer. Your feeder steers sold $5 to $6 higher, and heifers too. Calves were uneven. Stockers were sharply higher but lightly tested. But check out this NationalBeefWire market, your outstanding market for the day, and check out this automated market report through Cattle Market Central and see your best tested weights. They had 210 head of 4-weight steers and beaver. They averaged 463 at 428.79. 202 head of 5-weight steers averaged 569 at 385.41. 437 head of the 7-weight steers averaged 770 at 310.09. 954 head of 8-weight feeder steers and beaver averaged 874 at 291.55. And 448 head of the 9-weight steers averaged 949 at 278.36. They had a lot of cattle or feeder steers weighing over 1,000 pounds. Didn't make the market report there, but a stick out sale on your big feeder steers there. 148 steers that I was lucky enough to sell weighed 1058 and bring 280. How about the heifers? 255 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 535 in beaver with a weighted average price of 369.14. 289 head of the 6-weight heifers averaged 668 at 306.27. And 407 head of the 8-weight feeder heifers averaged 830 pounds at 276.22. Some other individual quotes from all around. How about Kingsville Livestock Auction in Kingsville, Missouri? Really good guy, a friend of mine, Steve Varner, sold some of his fancy steers in there. 116 feeder steers weighed 883 in Kingsville and bring 307.50. How about Fairview Livestock Commission in Fairview, Oklahoma, sells 137 steers weighed 9 1/4, guys, at 296.50. Congratulations to Fairview there. That was a big time quote. How about Lolly Brothers Livestock Market in Macon, Missouri? They sell 77 heifers. Feeder heifers weighed 745 at 315.75. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Atkinson Livestock Market, the old reliable up there on the Yellow Brick Road in Atkinson, Nebraska. 76 steers weighed 704 at 358. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.
Stress in your beef herd, dairy, or swine leads to weight loss, disease, and mortality, costing you peace of mind and profit. Stressful events such as transport, weaning, calving, and handling activate survival instincts in cattle, often leading to reduced dry matter intake, suppressed immunity, and increased risk of disease and mortality. FERA offers FeraPeas, a proven solution with over 20 million doses sold. FeraPeas, a synthetic analog of the maternal appeasing substance, naturally calms animals, helping to restore normal feeding behavior, promote hydration, and support immune function, ultimately improving health and performance. Trusted by producers and validated through multiple independent university trials, FeraPeas has been shown to reduce disease incidence and mortality, ensuring greater animal welfare and improved profitability for cattle and swine operations. FeraPeas, address the stress, backed by science.